what a passed pawn we have here, potentially. So bishop takes b5. We're going to be taking with the pawn. Rook takes. We play rook a1 here. Rook a1 looks really dangerous for black. Bishop takes b5, pawn takes b5. Rook takes, no. Yeah. Rook a1, I guess, shifting diagonals. Though I'm getting a little concerned. I don't want to let my pawn structure get banged up. But rook a1 is probably best. And if I could force him to play queen c7, we could keep it real clean. Or sorry, knight c7, and we could avoid any kind of complications. And bishop takes b5. Bishop takes b5, c5 leaves him with an awful, scary pawn to deal with for me. So, yeah, I don't think he can do that. Here, black should be lost. He did that. So I calculated pawn takes, knight c7, b6, when it looks like black is basically hosed there. Because knight e6, b7, I mean, it's just a monster. This pawn is just a monster. And the tactical justification is knight takes b4, queen check, and take. So we have to save the pawn, but b6 is the point. I might have other moves, and maybe even rook a7 is interesting here. Rook a7, but I'm getting low on time, and I think rook a7 is interesting though. I take on e7, break up the structure, have a strong outside pawn. It's also viable, I guess. Bishop c6. Bishop c6 doesn't seem to work because he just takes on b5. Rook a7. Better decide soon. Rook a7. It's also a good move. Well, no, on rook a7 he has bishop e6, and then I have bishop c6, so... Yeah, it's also good, I guess. But somehow I just feel this passed pawn should be pushed. I don't know. It just paralyzes him with the pawn on b7, and he doesn't have a c5 outpost for his knight. I didn't see knight b5, but I doubt that he can do that. Rook a6 looks good for me. So here we go. Basically the position we were aiming for. And the b7 pawn just paralyzes him. If he sacks the exchange, that's fine. But I don't even see how he can really do that. Okay, rook to open file. And this now, queen check, looks strong. Oh, I see, yeah, queen check just wins the pawn. So, that should be it for black, more or less. Bishop takes d5. Pass pawn's too strong. I could also take with the queen. I'm not sure it makes a huge amount of difference. Here, I want to keep this pawn no matter what happens. So, rook a8. Rook a8, putting pressure. He's going to sack the exchange, I guess. You could also play rook c1 first, give up the b pawn, or whatever, what have you. But rook a8, let's try it. When he should, I guess, take on b7. He has knight c7, which is fine by me. I have all sorts of stuff. Rook takes b8, and rook c1. which should win on the spot. Paralyzing him. He's totally paralyzed. So this is not a good advertisement for sacking this pawn, but I was kind of lucky, as pointed out by, who was it, McLuping? No, oh, no, My Ponzi People. Yeah, the Watson game was supposedly critical, but I don't think it's been like talked about a lot since that. I mean, black has established like reasonable lines here, so I'm not really sure. I guess the more like important question would kind of be why. Um, I don't think that black really needs an improvement in this line. He has enough resources. I'm going to stop. Goofy gumdrops. After knight f5? No, that's not an option. Recently, oh, Yasser, who also plays it, went through it with him. Uh-huh. Yasser is an English, yeah, he's one of my English heroes. When I was starting out and playing English in the late 80s, I mean, Serwan was like, yeah, he was like God in these lines where white plays the English, especially, well, every kind of English, but especially symmetrical. Serwan was very strong back then. He was playing in like the World Cup and stuff. The most exclusive tournament series in the world in like '88, and he was playing English right up through the early stage of his career. So yeah, that's a good reference point. Thanks for pointing that out, Mick Leping. So yeah, it's too late to stop and think here, man. The other way, maybe he could have sacked an exchange, but now he's losing like all of his pieces. So he doesn't even have rook takes b7 anymore. You just have to resign here. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't remember that. I can't believe it was that long ago that that game was in the Chess Informator. The last 10 years have just blown by. But it's partly because I've been kind of out of chess, partially out of chess in the last 5 or 6 years. Not completely, but not as deep in it as I was. So I didn't keep up with top games as much. Wasn't really studying that much. I'm sort of making a comeback, as you can see. So folks, any chess questions? What do you guys think about my YouTube channel? Check out the new video, Yakovenko versus Kostyuk. No spoilers, but it's pretty nice. And I think Yakovenko had an influence on me. I mean, just already I'm starting to play like him after just watching the game once. And he makes it look easy. But it's important that you find a role model or player you kind of identify with stylistically. But the interesting thing about this Yakovenko game, I mean, when you watch Yakovenko play Blitz, he's playing mostly e4, and he's kind of an e4 player. So he played viciously in an English Réti. I play everything. I play d4, e4, g3, knight f3, c4. That's what I like to do. Occasionally I give simuls, and I'll play every opening move. You guys can even request openings. You can ask me to play, if it's in my repertoire though, I'm not going to play like the Mexican defense if I don't know it, the St. George will play. St. George is really sketchy. I'm not advocating it as necessarily a good opening, but Katik took me out. I need to research that. That d5 push is a serious problem. It takes all the fun out of that system. It really does. So Srohit Krishna, dude, you know what? We'd like if you would resign just for the sake of saving some time on my Twitch stream, and so I can bring the viewers another game. Listen, guys, I talked to Lichess, and they're gonna get back to me about maybe streaming over there. I'd like to do that because there's a lot of players on Lichess, and some of them have been here and advocating the concept of me trying it out over there. And of course, I'm gonna do other sites like chess.com, and I need to talk to them though. I really want them to know what I'm doing and see if they're interested. But I'm uploading my Twitch streams to my YouTube channel, and I'm also annotating sometimes some of the more interesting games. I've done a couple videos like that of games that we've actually streamed live here that I thought were very cool, and annotating them. So it'll be like a mix on the YouTube channel of games I've played here in opening theory, and also live games from GM tournaments. So stay tuned. Now, okay, knight a6 after deep thoughts, a rook c8 check. There's a lot of moves here. I mean, it would be kind of mean. I could play b5. But b5, rook c6. There's an awful lot of good moves for white in this position. Rook c6 is good too. So I guess we'll do rook c6. I just can't decide. You know, it's kind of, it's hard to pick a move. Rook c6, when, you know, he can play queen takes b7. But I have a nice choice there too. We can do rook takes a6 or rook takes g6. I better stop fooling around though, because I should have just done rook c8 check. I have just 2 minutes left. I'll probably lose on time. Okay, rook takes a6. Let's do rook takes a6. I'm gonna be up a piece. I'm gonna be up a piece here. If he does queen takes b4, we take the fun out of life with, well, let's see. I mean, does queen e7 just finish him off right away? Not really. It would hang a queen. So we're gonna trade queen and play with the extra bishop. This dude's he's gonna fight to the bitter end, I think. But you know, I think an extra piece, even I can win with, as long as I have a minute on the clock. Even 30 seconds would be enough. As slow as I am, I'm like a dinosaur. But I'm even known to pre-move now and then. So f4, we've even got the pawns on the right color now. That's a bonus. Yeah, e5. He's probably right to do that. Now we'll start making sure we don't trade too many pawns here. I have the wrong color rook pawn, but I don't have the wrong colored e pawn, which I think is pretty important. It'd be nice if we would do like e4, and that's what I was like. Thank you for the request response. 2 pawns up in a king and pawn endgame. That's good. But I like it when they do what you want them to do. You know, it's not that often we get that kind of convenient service. But it seems like Sri Krishna is not the type to resign. Let's make sure there's no stalemate possibilities, shall we? e6. I'm sure if there's a stalemate possibility, I can find it. He has to go to e8 here. There's not going to be any stalemates today. No stalemates. In fact, it's like forced mate in 5 or something like that. King f8, g7 check. King g8, e7, king h7, queen, h6. He has a square. You have a square. Now I can promote, but it's more fun to like promote, check, he takes, then I check, and well, it doesn't matter. I queen, he plays king h6. So maybe we don't even queen. Queening would be a stalemate. We're not going to make the queen. One queen's enough. Lichess is good if you want viewers this time of day. You can try Alabin.